Hello everyone, my name is TNG Street Rider, and today you are watching Marvel Heroes gameplay highlights featuring Miss Marvel. So Miss Marvel is an older character. She's one of the original launch characters. She came in the Avengers Founder Pack, which I purchased, but I'd never played her, and the reason was because she always seemed to be weaker than a lot of other characters that did kind of the same thing. In 2.1, they've gone ahead and bumped her up to the new style of heroes with the powers all the way up to 52, and they've done a great job. Now, as you can see, my bar is empty. That's because I've gone ahead and I've already made a build, but I'm going to go ahead and show you now. The first thing I want to show you is her reworked Photonic energy bar. Currently on live, whenever you gain energy for Photonic energy, you gain it from taking damage, dealing damage with certain skills, and it gives you percentage bonus damaged based upon how much you have. It also gives you bonus defense rating depending on how much you have. As you can see on the new one, it gives you it naturally occurs now over time. Taking damage grants you a bonus to what you gain, and then you can spend it with some of the new enders. Again, one of the major things that you just saw is that Photonic Wave, which used to be one of her best AoE range skills. It's now actually available for her at level 1. I believe you got it before at level 6 or 8, but now it's right away available level 1. Plus 15 spirit, really nice to have. Let's take a look at her tree, and you guys, the first thing you'll notice, a lot has changed. There are a lot more skills than there are currently on the live version, and it's for the better. It may be a little jarring to people who are already low on power slots, but the new skills are worth it. As you can see, she does a lot more damage now with her Photonic Punch, and after any time she spends power, her Photonic Punch now will do extra damage. It says plus 25% extra damage for 5 seconds when you spend the power. That is incredible and adds a real big punch to her arsenal, which she did not really have before for her basic attacks. Before basic attacks, people used to really use like her range, like her Stellar Beam and Photonic Blast. I was always a fan of her melee, so that's what I'm going to show you guys here today. Kind of a melee range hybrid build style. Another thing you'll notice is knee cruftness. Now this was her main passive on live. It used to give defense, tenacity, and speed per point. Now you can see it gives a damage rating to melee powers to buff up her melee powers. It gives crit rating, which definitely needs, and tenacity, which is fantastic against hard CC, especially in the new PvP mode that will hopefully be out of open beta soon. She has retained Photonic Regeneration. That move was originally in her Photonics tree. It is now part of her Brawling tree. It does pretty much the same thing, but now whenever she spends Photonic energy, she gets extra regeneration for 6 seconds. So that's excellent change. All of her other stuff, as far as powers wise, everything does more damage. So if you wanted a melee build that does a lot of damage, you can go ahead and certainly pick that. Her taunt has been moved from her avionics tree to her brawling tree. Was it in her avionics tree? Yeah, I believe it was part of crash down strike before. She used to crash down and taunt everything for a certain amount of time. It's now been made its own skill, and it's been put into her brawling tree to keep her in line with other tanks. On her Photonic tree, one of the main differences you'll notice is, again, Photonic Wave is now her default skill instead of Photonic Blast. Now, Photonic Blast you still get early in the game, level 4, level 6, something like that, but it's not a core skill. You don't have to have it anymore if you don't want it. Likewise, another change is that if she spends her new Photonic energy, she actually gets to do 100% extra damage with her shotgun. It is an area of effect skill, so fantastic change in my opinion. and one that is drastically going to increase her DPS for AoE. Now, Energy Absorption was her second defense passive in the live version that was available. By the time this video goes up, it will be patch 2.1. But now, in addition, Energy Absorption does something a little bit different. It gives defense, gives a chance to ignore projectiles, and after spending Photonic Energy, she gets additional defense for 6 seconds. Yes, 6 seconds. So 25 additional defense mitigation. Fantastic power, excellent change to really help with her survivability in all facets of her power. I want to try to go over this a little bit more quickly, that way this isn't a very long video, because I don't know how in depth you guys want me to get, but every skill I mouse over, just know that the damage has been increased. This is actually a new passive, and it's very, in my opinion, specific to if you want to build like a Wolverine style Ms. Marvel. But you click the button, you spend your Photonic Energy, you regenerate 560 health. That's it. Pretty easy. New passive, really synergizes well with this if you have enough hot bars left over. That's, again, completely up to you. Her signature power is now called Radiant Cascade. Unleashes a massive area of Photonic Energy. It negates extra damage. I'm going to go and put that on H. It also helps generate 20% of Photonic Energy. Only has a 25-second cooldown. I mean, it seems pretty cool. Let's go ahead and test it out, see what it looks like. I don't have Ms. Marvel on live, so I'm not sure if that's a new animation, but it looks good. Nothing wrong with that. Looks fantastic. I mean, her punches is the same, nothing specific there. Her knee lunge is the same, nothing specific there. Stellar Fire is one of her bigger AoE moves. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, so it's pretty, I would say, Human Torch-ish. You know, Human Torch can also explode and overheat. This does damage based on Photonic Energy, deals extra base damage. So again, just mostly DPS changes to her, except for a few of the passive tweaks that they've gone ahead and done, which, I mean, we'll see if this makes her a more viable character. I have actually not tried her out yet, so this is going to be an experiment for you and me, guys. A new passive in her avionics tree is Flight of the Warbird. Sorry. It gives her attack and movement speed for 6 seconds and extra damage for 6 seconds after she uses the movement power. The reason I took that is because I actually went for 2 movement skills. I went for Warbird Charge and I went for Crash Down Strike. Just because they both sounded cool and did an obscene amount of damage. That's basically my reasoning behind it. And the buff is actually not just to her, but it's also to all of her allies as well. So you can kind of get your Cyclops on with your ally buffing. Binary Overdrive has not changed that I've seen. Still negates damage, still does extra damage, gives her extra damage rating, still gives her extra defense rating, still regenerates. It's just a massive buff. It does the extra damage now. I kind of think of it as like Sweet Christmas for what's his face, Luke Cage. There we go. What was the other skill that I had? I think that's pretty much it. I mean, there's nothing. Her changes, again, they're just bringing her up to the new system. It's not a complete remake of the new the entire character, but the powers do look excellent. They do a lot more damage now, and overall, we're gonna see how she goes. We're gonna see. She looks fantastic, so hopefully she works out fantastic with this build. I have no idea how it's gonna go, but here we go.
Step right up. No wait.
So her, just a basic, I don't have any points into it. I just been granted points based on one of her cosmic items that I have equipped. And I'm sorry, that was a weird little jitter right there. But as you can see, I am level 60. I am using the Cosmics, and I am using the Electro Metal. So again, I've tried to make her kind of like a hybrid melee range brawler. And that she's doing pretty good. She's not taking tons of damage like she normally would on live. She's doing a reasonable amount of damage. Let's see what this does. Okay, so you can kind of spam this a little bit. About 10,000 average, 14 to 20,000 on crit. Not bad at all. She's really cutting through the enemies right now, which is a drastic change because when I was playing her on the live server, I felt that she was a little slow in the DPS department. She wasn't nearly as fun as I would say I'm having with her right now. She feels almost like a brand new character, even though they haven't really done anything as far as the animations are concerned that I can tell. They've just kind of bumped up her DPS in all regards. Again, not a bad change. It was definitely a necessary change, and it's serving her well. I mean, I'm doing really good damage. I am not dying immediately. This is only a green terminal, but this is level 60, so it's not the hardest nor the easiest of times. Her new Photonic system really seems to work better rather than her getting passive damage as she was leveling, or as she was fighting, sorry. It's a much better system. It gives her more consistent damage mitigation, and it's really keeping her alive, actually. It's a lot easier because she's getting the natural damage from just using her skills that I would normally use on her, which is much easier to manage so far. I can still see that her melee skill is strong, but it's not. I think it needs more range on it in order to be really, really good. It's kind of only like a point blank AoE, and I mean really point blank, and that is a little bit old school, I would say, as far as the character designs. A lot of the characters that they've released, like Gambit and Loki and Ghost Rider, which will be alive today, I mean, they have a lot more range to them. And I mean, I know she's a melee brawler, but even Hope, I think, has more range. And I believe it's due to the character's design, and that she's a small woman versus, a guy with chains, or a guy with bow staff, or a big green monster. But it's kind of detrimental to her actual gameplay. I think she needs more range to be as viable as that. But at least they're taking a step in the right direction with her damage increase, because her damage is phenomenal now. And folks that like to build her with the energy Photonics, you're going to be completely happy with Ms. Marvel. There's no reason that you wouldn't be, because I think that's probably the tree that's benefited most from her upcoming update. Which is a little weird because on live, most people who play Ms. Marvel actually already play her Photonic tree. So I find it very odd that they went ahead and buffed that further. But I think it's an indirect buff. It's not like they sent out to do that. I feel that they sent out to make her melee viable. And it is. I can get up there and I can mix it up. I don't have to use my Photonics. I am a player that prefers to use the hybrid style. Because, I mean, why not? Why not use a little bit of everything that the character can bring to the table versus just one tree? that's again not necessarily how you feel when you play her. The main thing that I want to convey to her is that yes, overall she is a much better character. She is not nearly as weak as she was in the DPS department. She is much more fluid with her actions. Her skills make a lot of sense. They do really good damage. She can take a beating now, which one of the big changes that you'll notice is that her skill, whoa, what was that? I don't know if you guys just saw that, but as I was saying, she could take a beating. She took almost all of her life in one hit. That is either a bug or a serious oversight that my lack of testing or lack of other people's testing will be unfortunate. I don't know why she took that much damage. But that's her ultimate, as you can see. It looks amazing. I'm not sure if it was retouched up, but she absolutely decimated him once I did the ultimate there.
World conquest, don't.
As you can see, it's got a pretty long buff duration on it. The duration on her is 20 seconds. So it's a really nice ultimate, very long buff, perfect for boss battles. But she was taking really good damage the entire time, and then he almost one-shot her there at the end. That's really odd and unfortunate, and I would say people need to further test that more, which I know they kind of can't because this is going live like now. But I do feel overall, again, she is in a better position. I don't have, I'm sure Miss Marvel players that have been playing her will have plenty of uniques to make up for the gear that I don't have. I'm just using cosmics right now, nothing really special. But once again, this is Miss Marvel's update, and one of the key things that I wanted to say again right here that's missing is she does not have her defensive skill that she holds down the button to gain defense. That has been removed from her tree. So no more Captain America hiding behind your fist thing. She is completely passive based and gear based now. I honestly feel it looks like it's for the better, but I cannot comment as to why. I just almost died right there on a green terminal. That I'm not completely sure why she took that much damage. It could have just been a bug, guys. Bugs like that happen. But regardless, I hope you enjoyed this Miss Marvel patch change preview, 2.1 change, all that good stuff. She is a much more complete character. She's a much more competent DPS. Her tanking still leaves a little bit to be desired, but if you itemize her right, I'm sure she can still take a beating that will rival Captain America. And once again, guys, I will see you in January with Captain America's game update review thingy, as well as the Nightcrawler release. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe. And this has been TNG Street Rider. I'll see you guys later.